Hey guys, I'm Toni Tone, content creator and author of I Wish I Knew This Earlier, Lessons on Love.
And today together we'll be doing love letters I could never send.
You started to notice how I felt about you, so you asked me if I liked you. I should have said the truth, but I was scared to lose you if I did. Sorry I made a bad choice out of my own mess and fear and kept your love away from me. That's that self-sabotaging right there. I think that people do that because they have past experiences that have made them very scared, whether it's scared to be vulnerable, scared to let people in, scared to enter a new relationship. So based on those past experiences, whether they've been with friends, family members, or in other romantic relationships, they end up pushing people away as a defense mechanism to protect their heart, to protect their mind. And in the moment, it makes a lot of sense to them. It's like rational, like, I don't want to get hurt, let me not
Keep people
be vulnerable.
Yeah.
But then it hurts them in the long run because potential relationships and friendships end up not forming because of this intense fear.
But do you think sometimes that could be a test of love if someone does stick by and trying to push through the boundaries and the walls that you're putting up, or would you always say it's better to just be honest, speak your truth?
I don't think it's necessarily a test of love, because I think it's like kind of unfair to the other person to put that burden on them that they have to fight through your traumas and fight. Do you know what I mean? To prove like I'm worthy. You're pushing me away, but I will fight. I feel like that is an unhealthy dynamic. And it's unfair. Like some people will do it.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, but I think that expectation shouldn't be there. I think someone can really care about you and want to love you and still want to protect their own peace and well-being and say, you know what, I'm trying to get close to this person, they will not allow me to get close, I have to put myself first.
Yeah.
I know that before me, you wanted my best friend. Oof! I know that realistically, she was always the one you wanted. Really, you loved her before and more than you ever loved me. It's never nice to feel like you're second best or to be second best. And I would say to this person, you deserve to feel loved beyond measure, and you deserve to feel like you are someone's first choice and only choice. So think about that. I understand now that I have to let you go to live your life and follow the trail that takes you to your dreams. I only hope that the journey to the lighthouse somehow leads you back to me. But I wish you all the good things this world has to offer. I will always be rooting for you, always silently fighting your corner. Just because I cannot be in your life does not mean that I cannot love you from a distance, because I will. I will do that my whole life.
Oh.
I will pray for you forever, with all my heart, love always. Have you ever had to love someone from a distance?
I feel like, no, I feel like sometimes it's not an option. You have to let people go, and I think there's real love in that, in understanding that love isn't ownership.
Yeah.
It's releasing you to life, to like follow your dreams, do what you need to do. And I understand that I can't be a part of that, because I think sometimes your interests aren't aligned and the only way is out. It's a painful choice, but it's a necessary one, because you do more damage in holding on than you do in letting go. And it's a gift you give someone. There you go, do life. And I root for you from...
That's so beautiful. The distance made me realize how much I want you in my life. Even if we don't end up together, I would give up anything to have you back in my life. Hey, you never know. Sometimes exes come back around. I don't believe that you should never get back with an ex. I always think it depends on the reason you broke up. I view you as a close friend, my close and crazy friend. In fact, one of my best friends. I know I can learn so much from you and you from me. Daily, I think I truly love you, though you may never hear it, but I'll give you anything, even the space you need to be with others who make you happy, even if it's not me. Being in love with your best friend, but loving them so much that you want them to be happy, and if that means being in relationships that don't involve them being with you, still wanting that for them, that's a different kind of love.
That is different. And I think, but on the other side of that, imagine the people you love have people in their corner, best friends that...
I did not think about that, but you're right. Imagine your man's best friend. That happens a lot.
A lot.
Especially to guys.
It does.
She's just my friend, she doesn't like me. But it's like, And you see, she loves you. She's in love with you, honey. Do I think men and women can be friends? Yes, I do.
Okay.
But I think that it is important for them to assert boundaries when they are in relationships. There needs to be a respect there that extends to their partner.
Yeah.
And I think that if you, I believe that if you have romantic feelings for your friend and your friend is in a relationship, those feelings should not channel out. And you should have utmost respect for them, their relationship. But it sounds like this person definitely does, but it's about maintaining that and never doing anything to disrupt them, confuse them, or hurt their partner in any way. I do think men and women can be friends, but I do believe if you have romantic feelings for your friend, it might be in your best interest to try and distance yourself, because that's torture. I think sometimes you just have to like not be in denial and communicate that with your friend, and you're gonna think, I don't want to lose my friend, but equally you're putting yourself through something that you could avoid.
100%.
Say to your friend, look, I understand we're friends, but I need to distance myself, and be honest, tell them why, because you're gonna be
might love you
living
back.
that.
Maybe, if you tell them. I wouldn't.
Yeah. maybe, maybe. It's a risk. It's a risk. Let's not pretend.
Let's not.
I loved you so much. I was proud of our 30-year friendship. Why did you have to let me down like that in the most important time of my life? I had to walk away from the toxicity. I felt like I was putting more into us than you were. I still think about you. I often think about how many amazing times we had, and I smile. I will always love you, but you are a closed chapter in my life that I have to learn to live without.
Oh,
that's painful.
That's sad.
That's painful. And I would say that's painful because friendship breakups can be way more traumatic than romantic breakups. And I think that's partially because when it comes to romance, we rationalize the fact that a lot of relationships don't last forever, right? Now, unless you're going to be with that person to your dying day or marry that person, whatever, if you want to get married, you're going to end up breaking up, right?
And you accept that as a possibility when you go into it.
Exactly. But when you have friendships that span decades, you don't think that they're going to end.
Especially at the 30-year mark, I think what would make, why can't you work through it? Or do you think there are some things you can't work through and life just happens and you kind of go separate ways?
Well, I'm curious, like based on what you just said, like what could this person have done to annihilate a 30-year friendship? It would have to be so bad, or a series of behaviors over a period of time that just accumulated. But what is really painful for me is like this like I will always love you element.
Yeah, but I don't think that goes away though. I think if you truly love a person in whatever form, that stays with you, doesn't it? Sometimes life happens and sometimes you do genuinely kind of outgrow people and you go your separate ways, and I think in some ways there's peace to be found in that.
I'm sorry I hurt you and made you feel like nothing. I'll never forgive myself for the mistakes I made. I think about them every day. And for the 6 months and 24 days I've lacked happiness. The one thing I've gained is the gift of learning to make each day mean something and to never take anyone for granted. I'm just so sorry you had to be the one for me to learn my lesson.
Ooh.
I am glad this person is taking accountability.
Yeah.
It's not nice to hurt someone you care about and to underappreciate them in any way, but at least this person said, you know what, I have done this, I'm going to stand up, I'm going to own it, I'm going to accept it, and I'm going to use it as a lesson. And I agree, it's unfortunate that they had to learn this lesson through hurting someone that they claim to care about, but it is a lesson after all, and moving forward they just have to ensure that they don't repeat that same mistake. It's a mistake that obviously cost them something, but
I think sometimes that's the only way you learn.
Yeah.
People underestimate how strong of an emotion guilt is, and in a lot of situations everyone wants to be the one who got away, and everyone wants to be the one, or he did me wrong, or she did me wrong, and I got to leave them in the dust and they can remember me forever. But being on the other side of it, where you're the reason this didn't work, I think that's quite a heavy burden to,
Even if I lose every memory of all I had in this life, I would still remember you. I carry you on my heart with me, and I put an arm around it. Nothing could ever take you from me. Wow. This is so poetic. If I lose every memory of all I had in this life, I would still remember you. That's intense. I.e., they are literally ingrained in your heart and in your memory. Wow. You drove my heart to the wrong place and left it there without any remorse. You played me like a toy when it was in your favor, and even though I was aware of your intentions, I let you act your way because I held on to the hope that you were going to change your mind and return to the endless love I was ready to put at your feet.
They don't change their mind if it's not now. If it hasn't happened, let it go.
And we cannot force people to change if they're not ready or prepared to. They need to have that like personal intentionality. And I think that this is a lesson for whoever wrote this, because if someone is treating you in a way that you don't deserve, is misbehaving, is taking you for granted, you need to accept the fact that you cannot love them into loving you correctly.
That's the one.
Like, you can give them all of you, but that isn't necessarily enough for them to wake up and start loving you correctly. It's a personal choice they have to make, a personal decision. So where this person said, I held on to the hope that you were going to change your mind, like moving forward, you need to judge people for their actions in the moment, not for their potential, not for what you believe they're capable of, not for the love you have for them, but how they are treating you, and not even for what they say, but literally how they are treating you in the moment. And
as well, I also think some things don't get better because they're not meant to be. You can't keep learning or waiting and doing this over and over again. It's never going to fall into place because the person's not ready, or it just may not be you. And that's a really hard pill to swallow.
Even though this was not meant to be, you'll always be my perfect man. And once in a while, I'll bring this love I've had for you back to life to remind me of how it used to be before you ripped my world apart. I was not ready for the end because I read you'll be my perfect man, so I assumed that, oh, this is a perfect man, even though there's no such thing as perfect, but you know what I mean. But you ripped my world apart, so I would query what they did to rip that world apart and still maintain this like idealized perfect status in your head. Very poetic though. Even when I said, oh, I'm reading this sentence and I'm saying, oh, because a lot of people do this, women in particular. And I always say, like, if this is not what you want, do not lie to yourself. So let me say this again.
Okay.
Even when I said, yeah, I'm okay with casual too.
Oh, okay.
I so wasn't. You became my first thought in the morning and my last one at night. And I deserve to be the same for you. It kills me every time you go MIA because you're so afraid of feeling anything. Feel, damn it. You're alive. I promise I'll be gentle with your heart.
She wasn't sounding so gentle.
Sometimes we tell ourselves we do not have certain preferences when we do, because we want to keep people in our lives or have people in our lives. I.e., my preference is a monogamous, committed, devoted relationship. But because I like that man over there, I'm fine. I can do a relationship. I'm fine with cash. And it's like, no, sis, you can't. You know you can't. But you're lying to yourself. And you're lying to yourself about your desires because you want that person. When in reality, what this person said here, I deserve, is true. You deserve to have a love that fulfills you in a way you want to be fulfilled. And you deserve to be with someone who matches your values and feeds into those values as well. You shouldn't have to dismiss your values to find or keep love. You shouldn't. This is actually hilarious because I can relate to this too. I just wish you hadn't ruined so many songs and so many places for me. Relatable. You know when you go through a breakup and you've been with someone for a long time and you have all these spots you go to or these songs that remind you of them and you're no longer together. It's like, I do not want to set foot in this establishment. I do not want to listen to this song. I could relate to this. That one day, it went back to how it was before. You held my hand because you knew I was scared. It was supposed to be a friendship trip, but we did the whole day together and the train ride home. We listened to music and fell asleep together on the train. I walked you home at midnight because you always walked me home, and I knew it was the last time I would get to call you mine, and I didn't want to waste a single minute of that day. That was so special to me, and I replay it over and over in my head. Thank you for letting me be happy again for one last time. That was the closure I wanted and needed. But that was when I knew the bittersweet reality that was our ending. From that moment on, it was your life and it was my life.
A lot of the times when things go wrong, you don't always know, like, oh, this is actually the last time that we're gonna have this, because life happens, and before you know it, 1 week ago we were fine. I didn't know that this would be, I didn't know you were gonna do something to force my hands, that we would never speak, and you don't always get that last experience of, okay, let's have this last day together. But I also don't know how that necessarily works.
It's like unawareness in the whole last day thing.
Yeah, like
so
is it planned? Like,
yeah.
people say, okay, we're doing this for the last, and if
For the
it
last
is,
time.
that makes me think one person is okay with this ending.
Yeah. And it's not the person that wrote this. You have a special place in my heart. Thank you for being with me the whole year. It was not easy, I know. Thank you for good and bad moments as well. I love you. And I know you love me too. I hope we will love each other till death do us part. Oh, this is so sweet. It sounds like this person definitely had a roller coaster of a year, and they were supported by the person they love. And yeah, the pandemic has made this year very, very crazy. So if you have someone in your life who can support you through your ups and downs, keep them.
Thank you all for tuning in today. You can find us at www.deltastudios.com and on Instagram at the Delta Studios. Thank you.